When I first became a Michigan fan, there were always a few games I would watch every year, because Michigan would play those rivals every year. You know, teams like Ohio State, Michigan State, Indiana, and Wisconsin. Wait, I know what you're thinking. Michigan versus Wisconsin isn't a rivalry game. Well, it is to me. I don't know why it's not considered one. But to me, it really is. I have a lot of memorable experiences from watching these games. There were some great games every year. But the last time these two teams met was in 2021. Why? Why don't they play every year like they used to? In today's video, I investigate what happened to the Michigan-Wisconsin rivalry game, and even got in touch with a Wisconsin fan to see their perspective on the rivalry and why it disappeared. So make sure to like and subscribe, and grab some popcorn and a drink, because today's video is going to be a fun one. So buckle in, and let's channel our inner Sherlock Holmes, and find out what is really behind of the disappearance of the Michigan-Wisconsin rivalry. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, Michigan and Wisconsin, in my opinion, is a rivalry game. I mean, the games were on every year, so I just figured they would be our annual Big Ten West opponent. The other thing was that I have a ton of memorable experiences from this game. It was early October, and Michigan 4-0 was set to play a 4-0 Wisconsin team. I remember it because a lot of people told me, since this was 2016, my first year as a Michigan fan, that Wisconsin was a pretty good team, because the week before they played us, they just beat the brakes off of Little Bro State, aka Michigan State. But I had faith that Michigan was able to win this game, and this is what it came down to.
Down the middle of the field. Intercepted. Jordan Lewis.
Now, some other games I remember was in 2017, Wisconsin defeated us, 2018, Michigan destroyed Wisconsin, and in 2019 and 2020, Wisconsin destroyed Michigan. But in the most recent meeting in 2021, Michigan destroyed Wisconsin. There was a bit of a pattern there anyway. But yeah, after that, the rivalry game sort of just disappeared with really no trace of it. After the 2021 game, Michigan didn't play Wisconsin in 2022 or 2023, which was kind of confusing to me at the time, considering because I still thought this was a rivalry game. But is it really? And if it isn't, why we play them every year? But if it is a rivalry game, then what happened to it, and who killed it? To answer this question, I actually got in touch with a Wisconsin fan via Discord, and what they had to say was pretty interesting. So I asked them a few basic questions like, do you consider a rivalry game, do you hate Michigan, and are you just as curious as I am on why we don't play every year anymore? And these are the answers he gave me. So the questions I asked him were, do you think Michigan versus Wisconsin is a rivalry? Do you hate Michigan? Did you enjoy watching the games over the years? Are you curious why the game disappeared? Favorite game from the series? And are you hoping that the rivalry returns? What he replied with was kind of. Watching them both, Michigan was definitely a better team than Wisconsin. But being a Wisconsin fan, I don't really hate Michigan that much. His answer to my second question was, this goes for number one. I don't really hate Michigan that much. It's just annoying how they have success and a school like Wisconsin doesn't have much success. I like watching both. I like watching more of Wisconsin because I have a lot of people in my family that like Wisconsin and want their athletes to succeed. Same for me. I'm a bit curious on why they don't talk about the rivalry between Michigan and Wisconsin. I guess Michigan had better opponents to face against. Don't really have a favorite game, so I'll pass on that question. And his answer to my last question was kind of, just hope to face them in the future, hope we beat them. If not, then we usually don't care, because we have an okay team. They're done. So now that we have a Wisconsin fan's perspective on why the rivalry disappeared, they do believe that it's also a rivalry game, which is exactly what I've been saying. I mean, we play each other for pretty much every season, at least that I watched, so why isn't it a rivalry game? It doesn't have an official name, even the EA Sports game doesn't list it as a rivalry game, but has weird ones listed like Michigan and Northwestern, which don't even play every year like this game was. Now it leads me to probably the main issue here, in which I believe could be the real culprit could actually be the Big Ten Conference. Let me explain. You see, the last time Michigan played Wisconsin was in 2021, but also, the next year, instead of playing Wisconsin, it was almost like we had a new Big Ten West opponent, Nebraska, who was typically playing Ohio State. So to figure this out, did Wisconsin play Ohio State in 2022 and 2023? In fact, they did. So for some reason, the Big Ten switched annual West opponents around. Michigan got Nebraska, and Ohio State got Wisconsin. I'm not really sure why Ohio State and Michigan just decided to switch annual Big Ten West opponents, but this is my main theory, and I can't really think of any other reason. This, I think, is the main culprit, just bad Big Ten scheduling for some reason. So there you have it. Big Ten scheduling killed a rivalry game, or somewhat of a rivalry game, at least in my opinion it is. I really don't understand why this happened, but the Big Ten randomly switched it around. However, there is still some hope, because in 2025, Michigan plays Wisconsin once again. Honestly, I'm super hyped for this game, and I think if there's any people watching this, either Michigan or Wisconsin fans, I hope you are as hyped as I am. Wisconsin versus Michigan is going to be hype when it finally comes back onto the field where we deserve to see it. And now we have solved the what happened to the Michigan-Wisconsin rivalry game. And I can't wait for 2025 when Michigan and Wisconsin take the field once more. I'm Michigan Man, signing out, and I'll see you guys next time. Go Blue.